Well, you're joining me on a fairly mundane mission, and I apologise. I'm actually going to collect my eggs. So you're going to accompany me and as I walk through Haria and see what happens. Now, the reason I'm doing this is that we're just back from holiday and I'm under time pressure. I don't actually have the 3 or 4 hours it takes to drive out somewhere, shoot a video for you and edit it this week, but I do need to go and collect my eggs, which I do every week. And I figured I'd combine the two chores. Well, making a video isn't a chore, but the chore of collecting the eggs with making a video for you. A normal service will be resumed next week for sure. It's been super hot in Haria while we've been away. The house was absolutely boiling. Took ages and ages to cool it down. But as you can see, today's pretty sort of overcast, but it's still hot. And there's a bit of breeze blowing. And here we are at the aljibe. And what I'll do is just sort of pause anywhere interesting and see what's going on. You can catch up with what's been going on in the village while I've been away, as I do that. Yeah, we've been back a day or so and I have not ventured out of the house. I'm just about caught up with my normal work now. We'll go through the plaza and see what's going on there. Oh, well, this is new. Little gourmet bar, looks very nice there. So I need to check that out at some point and find out what's going on there. Oh well, that's always exciting when a new shop appears in the village. Perfecto, muchísimas gracias.
A ti, buen día.
Hasta la próxima. That's what happens when you go away. So I was chatting to the young lady in there, who is a friend of Kino, who has the bar next door. So they've got gourmet products in there, cheeses, hams, wines of Lanzarote, and it looks really nice. And I thought it was ice cream in the fridge, but it was actually cheeses. But they're also selling the products that the artisans make here, so Aurelio's stonework. And the young lady, I didn't catch her name, which was a bit remiss of me, but I'll go back and say hello properly in the future. Also the stonework of a guy in Teguise, whose name also escapes me, so I need to switch my brain on. Buenos días. Bien, gracias. My neighbour Pedro. Of finca fame, so he'll be walking back from his finca now, having tended it and made sure everything's growing nicely and so on and so forth. Yes, stonework in that shop and just all kinds of really interesting, nice stuff. For example, metal, that sort of rusted metal camels and things and so on. So yes, I liked it. Past supermarket number 2 now. This house on the corner is coming on well. They've done a beautiful restoration on it, or what will be a beautiful restoration. Really doing a proper job on it. I don't know what it's going to be when it's done, but they've been working there for some time, and I think they've sort of done all the outside stonework, so they've got the carpentry to come in and all the interior to fit out. It's a classic Canarian house with a central courtyard. I've turned down this road because it's just quite interesting in that the post office is down here, and I like to say hello to our post lady whenever I walk past. This is a fairly large finca here. They've picked the grapes already by the looks of it, This time of year, summer, they don't grow that much, but certainly in the winter you'll see tomatoes and potatoes and onions and so on there. This fig tree is looking very full of figs, as you can see. I think Julie's picked all the ones off our fig tree, but this is bigger than ours. Here's our little post office coming up on the right. I'll pop in a minute and say hello and see if there's any interesting gossip about what's been happening while we've been away. So no desperately exciting gossip. It's a very busy time because it's when the car tax documents go out across the island. So she's been delivering those, and in fact I had my notification through this morning for my car, 40 euros, well 45 euros, but discounted to 40 euros and 60 cents if I paid it before, I think it was the 9th of September. I paid it this morning, so I got the discount. Thank you very much. Now, because Haria is in a valley, and you can see it's a classic valley, we've got high mountains or high hills all around us, so we're kind of in a bowl. What that means is that we have a very good system for channeling the water through the village, and you'll see loads of these. They're called barrancos, and they only flow when there's heavy rain, and we haven't had any heavy rain, well, for more than a year actually. But these barrancos come down through the village, and then there are sections like this one here where it also becomes a road. And then beyond, as you can see, it becomes barranco again ahead of us. So people will park their cars here, but if there's a forecast of heavy rain, they'll quickly come out and move them off the barranco, because this bit I'm standing on now effectively becomes a river when there is heavy rain. Lovely fruit garden here with grapes, oranges, bananas, papayas and more. And I've just thrown a little loop here to walk around the small church of San Juan, St. John. And now we're almost at the egg collection point. And the house we're going to is just up ahead. It's called Casita Palmera, and it's owned by two very good friends of ours, Marcus and Heidi. And they keep chickens there, and we buy our eggs every week from them. They're fresh and free range and delicious, and they just leave them in the front box of the property for us to collect them. What they have here is a penthouse apartment and a separate 3-bedroom house which they rent out. You can see it on our website actually if you search for Casita Palmera. They also have a beautiful outdoor space with a swimming pool that's heated, is large, but it also has a cover so it's usable all year round. And there's a barbecue area down there. It's a really nice place to spend time. And here are our eggs. It's exactly 1 kilometre if you go in a straight line from our place to Casita Palmera. We've actually done 1.5 to get there because we went on a roundabout route. Whilst there's always a temptation to jump in the car and go and get them, or on the bike, I try to walk it as often as possible just to get some exercise and to take in what's going on in the village, as I said before. This statue at the entrance to Haria always causes British tourists some confusion because, as you can see, his name on the plaque was Tony Martin. He was known as the Pollo del Puerto, the chicken of the port, and he was a lucha wrestler. But his name, of course, wasn't Tony Martin because that sounds so British. His name was Antonio Martin, but he was known as Tony. And here's another of those barrancos that I was talking about. This one actually, in fact, they're both run down the side of our house, one on each side. And when there is a forecast of heavy rain, diggers will come through the day or so before to clear all these plants that grow and gradually fill the barrancos up. And this one runs down and then goes past the back of Casita Palmera that we were looking at earlier. I used to joke that we could, on a very rainy day, kayak from our house to theirs down here, and you probably could, although I think it would be a bit scary because it flows quite fast when it's flowing. Gorgeous flowers. This is another old house that's getting the full restoration treatment. Going to be ready in October 26th by the looks of it. That's a rendering of how it will look. Looks like they're rebuilding one of the outhouses down there as well. That's the massive aljibe, one of the houses up here. And water was such an issue before the desalination plant came along. And people used to focus a lot of energy on making sure they always had enough water to last through the summer by capturing as much of it as they possibly could. The sun's now breaking through, as you can see, and it was warm when I started, but it's hot now, and I think in another hour or so those clouds will have completely burned off and we'll be in for a hot, lazy afternoon. This is another of the larger fincas here. The grapes haven't been picked yet. I'm pretty sure the grapes here are used for the local Sesto wine and also for the La Grieta wines, which are both made in the north of the island. Oh, here's a bit more news that's of something that's changed while we've been away. This plot of land, on which you can see growing loads of tobacco trees at the moment, has gone onto the market. So that's for sale through Ormicasa. I'll have to go and have a look at their website and find out how much the plot is. Got grapes around the front. I presume it's got building permission, but maybe it's just a finca. I've always loved this area. Lovely bougainvillea there, and a bench on either side. One there and one over here, so you can always find one in the shade to sit in. Unusual not to see people sitting there and enjoying it, actually. We come round the corner now. The top of this road is the Casa Museo Cesar Manrique, which was his house at the time that he died, and where his studio is preserved, and a lot of his personal stuff is still in there. Well worth a visit if you haven't done it. That's it, we're back to our street now, so apologies it wasn't a kind of rip-roaring resort action-packed video, but I hope you've enjoyed it. It was needs must, and a little glimpse into rural village life here. Bye for now.